must trouble you for a place to stay the night. Hello?
Lost your way, little girl?
Is this your house?
I hang my hat here.
You don't mind, do you? Only I really do need to try these out.
Throw them on the fire if you need to.
No. Just in front of the fire is fine. So... do you live by yourself? It seems rather dangerous to live alone in the woods.
Seems more dangerous to travel alone in the woods.
Yes, there do seem to be some frightful things about at night. And I suppose there must be a lot of wolves as well.
Not anymore.
I see! You wiped them all out then? You must be quite the hunter.
If I were the best hunter that ever lived, and killed and killed and killed till I was old and withered, there would still be wolves to lurk in the dark woods.
But they
left.
Where did they go?
Who knows? Not much to keep them here, with the moon gone.
I'm feeling a bit chilled. You don't mind if I borrow one of your furs, do you? And another thing, you wouldn't happen to have any cushions. It's just I find the floor a bit hard to sit on. Is something wrong?
Wood floors bruise your bottom, little girl?
Well, yes, to put it crudely. I bruise very easily. And you've no right to address me as little girl. I don't think you're much older than I. My name is November. Won't you give me your name?
Why? Don't like your own.
Do you never sleep?
Take the bed if you're sleepy.
That's very good of you. But I don't think that is... I'm not tired. Well, perhaps I should try to sleep, at least. I'll say goodnight to you then. I can't stay in this bed.
It's softer than the floor.
No. I mean, there's something in this bed. Or there was. Something like death.
How?
I can't explain it. It's just this feeling that
Nothing underneath. Nothing between the bedclothes. That's right. I burned the old bedclothes, didn't I? Aired out the old mattress. Till even I couldn't smell the death anymore. So, how did you know?
Then you knew all along that someone died here.
Someone? 3 died in that bed. I was one of them.
Yes, and while this is all quite fascinating, there is one thing I feel I must ask. If she died, how is it we are still graced with her charming presence today?
Well, she explained it to me. Something about she and someone in her family being eaten by a wolf.
Eaten by a wolf, I see. That doesn't explain anything.
Well, obviously she recovered.
Indeed. What is somehow less obvious is why we are following this deranged madwoman instead of the forest path.
If I were the sort to stay on the path, I wouldn't be here today.
Yes, you see, because instead of here, we would be on the path, and well on our way to the next kingdom.
I smell something this way.
Does it smell of fish by any chance?
She isn't such a frightful person, you know. The rumors about her are highly exaggerated. She isn't actually a witch. She doesn't eat human flesh.
Your Highness will understand, I hope, if this gives me a little comfort.
If you're that ill at ease, Master Perot, you could always turn around and go home.
No, not just yet. I suppose I'm chasing an interesting scent myself. Something wrong?
The wind blew a leaf right into my face.
I see.
Ow.
Your Highness, please, a little dignity. From the way you carry on, one would think the entire tree had fallen on you. Oh, for God's sake, there! You're perfectly... fine.
Oh no, it's that bad? Am I disfigured for life?
Of course not, but you say it was a leaf that struck you?
As I said before, I bruise very easily.
Somehow easily does not quite describe it.
This is what it looks like!
Perhaps losing the path does have its rewards now and then.
This was what you found, Red? The gate seems to be locked. But if there is someone inside, we could perhaps ask for directions. What do you think, Master Perot? Very impressive. But the gate is still locked, and I rather doubt Red or I could enter the same way you did.
Fear not, Your Highness. All I need to do is seek out the master of this estate and inform him that a band of dozens and dozens of ruthless cutthroats and robbers are on their way here at this very moment, intent on looting the palace and butchering any poor soul they find within. Thereupon, I simply advise him of the wisest course of action, which would be to open the gates and allow the rogues unhindered access to his property, that they may be preoccupied with ransacking his possessions while the master of the house escapes with his life. Or we could just break the gate down like idiots. Yes, that certainly sounds like a well-considered plan.
Your huffing and puffing wouldn't blow it down.
Ah yes, I suppose that blowing down houses would be the only available option for someone too ill-behaved to be invited indoors.
Who would build such a place so deep in the woods? And why is there no one about?
We had best pray that it remains that way. I doubt whoever lives here would be very accommodating after seeing what our tactful friend has done to their gate. At any rate, I shall be inside. And if we do happen across the master of the house, Your Highness, it would be best if the talking were left to me.
But what if I should meet them before you do?
Then I suppose there will be trouble.
Red? Whoever lives here certainly looks after their gardens. I don't know if you ought to be taking all of those. At least try to mind the thorns. Honestly, going to such trouble to pick some silly roses.
Don't like flowers?
Well,
Good for you.
Clothes for the lady of the house. Not in her highness's size. Clothes for someone else? Definitely not my size. Gold, silver. Junk. Something in here reeks of magic. It's enchanted, all right. Could be useful.
It's almost as big as our library at home. Almost. Huh?
You little thief!
I'm sorry?
Whoops. Trouble as expected.
A very bad day to come and vandalize my garden. And don't think I didn't notice the front
Lord,
gate.
it seems there have been some misunderstanding. Please, great lord, if I may explain...
Don't call me Great Lord. Do I look like a Great Lord to you?
Indeed, sir. One cannot but notice your lordly bearing.
You brute! Put him down at once! If you don't mind.
You stroll onto my private property, help yourself to my roses, and then you give me orders in my own home? Who do you think you are? Some kind of princess?
Well,
My lord, we beg your forgiveness. But surely your lordship can understand if my companion here quite forgot all propriety when faced with the grandeur of your palace and grounds. After all, she has never seen their like before.
Actually, my father's gardens are... perhaps slightly less grand.
You see?
Ah, women. Always my father this and my family that. If you love them so much, why didn't you just stay home in the first place? But no, you have to come here and make a mess of everything. Like it's your own personal restaurant or something. As if you could just come and go and just leave anytime you feel like it. Damn, I got some dust in my eye.
I couldn't say exactly why, my lord, but it somehow occurs to me to wonder if you are suffering from heartbreak.
Oh, shut up! The only question to be asked here is why I shouldn't rip heads off both of you right now!
Yes, how foolish of me. A woman's cruel betrayal is a minor wound after all.
Minor? Minor? 1 week, she said. I swear I won't be any longer than that. Do you know how long it's been?
I can't imagine, my lord.
10 days! If she was planning to break off with me, she could have at least had the decency to come out and say it.
Forgive my presumption, lord, but have you considered that your home is somewhat remote in location? Perhaps your lady friend is merely delayed from having to navigate the woods.
Oh, impossible! I gave her one of my magic rings.
Magic rings?
Yes, I had a couple of them in storage. You put it on before you sleep, and no matter where you are, you wake up at home in your own bed. Then, if you turn it around on your finger and go to bed again, you wake up where you started.
That sounds like quite a useful item.
A fat lot good it's done me! Maybe giving her a ring was too forward? Do you think I scared her off? I only proposed, 243 times! I thought she'd eventually realize how I felt, but...
Yes, 243 refusals clearly spell her failure to grasp your intentions. My lord, have you considered finding a... less obstinate bride?
Bah! There's no one else who could even compare to her!
Yes, a rare beauty, I'm sure. But beauty is of no use if she cannot be persuaded to marry.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, if the lady won't marry you, then...
No, before that, I never told you her name!
Indeed no, my lord.
So how do you know?
No?
Her name!
We seem to be having two different conversations.
You Stripe-tailed son of a weasel! Was it you she left me for?
My lord, if I may...
You came here to gloat, is that it? Will you mistreat her like you do your other mistress here?
If you would just let me... Wait, what?
Oh, I'm not his mistress. He already has a master, the Marquis de Carabas.
Your Highness, that is not what he means by...
And if you're referring to this bruise, it was only from a leaf that fell on me in the woods.
You'd have her make up such a ridiculous excuse just to cover your worthless hide?
I distinctly remember asking that the talking be left up to me.
I can't believe Beauty left me for a blackguard like... Huh?
Why trade one beast for another? Doesn't matter if it dresses up or says sweet words. In the end, a beast only loves what it can put in its belly.
That's... You... picked my roses!
I'll pick your bones too, ugly.
My God, you've killed him!
He's still twitching.
Not for long.
No! Are you mad?
Such should be obvious by now. But more importantly, someone's coming.
I think I heard something. Beast? Are you out here? I know, I'm a bit late. My sisters, honestly, they're sweet, but they can be a real pain in the... Oh God, it's my fault! I was away too long, and he lost his will to live! He was always so sensitive.
Don't die, please. I love you. We can put things up.
So you'll marry me?
Beast or no, he was still a nobleman. We assaulted him in his home, made free with his property, and now we're fleeing like common criminals.
We certainly took his mind off his troubles. As for ourselves, we picked up a few treasures and we made it out alive, which is the most important part of an amusing adventure.
I don't want adventures. I want to go home and sleep.
Yes, well, at least one of us now has that option, should things ever cease to be amusing. Look, even this one didn't come away empty-handed.
Don't lump me in with you, hairball.
And unless my eyes deceive me, Your Highness, neither did you.
What? The book! In all the commotion, I forgot to put it back on the shelf.
A convenient oversight. And you picked it up in the first place because...
We used to have something like it at home. You had one as well, in the Marquis's study. A map of the world, in the shape of a book.
Ah, yes, the Atlas. What of it?
The one we had at home was older and much larger. When I was small, I thought it surely had to be a grand, exciting story. I couldn't read well yet, so I brought the book to my sisters and asked if we could read it together. They told me that there was no story in it, only maps and pictures. I thought they were making fun of me. Even when my mother told me the same, I couldn't quite believe it. To me, it seemed impossible for there to be no story in it. After all, it looked just like a storybook. It had pages, just like any storybook. And as with any storybook, whether you liked it or not, if you kept turning the pages, you would eventually reach
The end of the world? You expect to go that far?
I don't know. I don't really have a choice, do I? Until I find the moon. All I can think to do is keep going forward.
Well, any half-wit can find his way to World's End, if he only keeps walking straight ahead of him. So the only thing we needn't worry about is following paths.